All right, let's first take a step back and specify what strategy is. So one common conception defines strategy as the identification and balancing of ends, ways, and means. Ends are just your objectives, the things you're trying to achieve. Means are the things you're using as you try to achieve those objectives. The people, platforms, programs that you can use in your efforts. These are typically things you can see and touch out there in the world. Ways are the middle piece, and I think kind of the most interesting part of the ends, ways, means chain, both because there's more room for creativity there, and you can also make adjustments in relatively short order. Here's where brute force and coercion come in. These are two chief ways we can go about trying to achieve our goals. I'm speaking from an American perspective, but this is all, of course, equally relevant for other countries or even for other types of actors, as anybody who's ever tried to raise a child or a pet will surely already know. Actors have a broad menu of ways from which to choose as they try to achieve their objectives. Thomas Schelling divided these into brute force and coercion. Lawrence Friedman calls those controlling strategies and coercive strategies. Brute force is all about capabilities, trying to build up your own and/or degrade those of others. The point is to try to make others less able to harm U.S. interests. Imposing economic sanctions on Iran, for instance, could be part of a brute force effort if the point was to try to make it harder for Iran to actually do something, say getting nuclear weapons by, say, restricting their access to key materials. Common concepts such as offense, defense, preemption, prevention, damage limitation, rollback, and resiliency, these all fall under the brute force umbrella. Coercion, on the other hand, is all about choices. You're trying to convince the other side to, you're trying to affect their decision making to make them less likely to try to harm your interests. So sanctions on Iran, to continue the example, could be part of a coercive effort if the point was to affect how Iranian leaders were thinking about, say, trying to pursue nuclear weapons. All right, so with brute force, you're focused on trying to build, prevent, or destroy capabilities to make it more likely that you're going to get your way. Whereas with coercion, you're more interested in affecting others' decision-making to make them more likely to give you your way.